He was once a brilliant teen detective, now trapped in the body of a 7-year-old child, yet still outsmarting every criminal in sight. That is how fervent fans around the world describe the enduring legend of Detective Conan, known in some parts as Case Closed. The story behind this remarkable crime saga is full of twists, near misses, and thrilling investigations that have unfolded over nearly 3 decades, enchanting readers and viewers with its relentless suspense. Today we tackle the burning question: how on earth has a boy detective managed to hold the world's attention since the mid-1990s? And what does it mean for new fans now that this epic phenomenon is finally coming to major streaming platforms in the United States? Stay with me, because in this episode, we will dive deep into the labyrinth of Detective Conan's origins, examine why its cult following never died despite multiple obstacles, and explore what crucial details you need to know about its highly anticipated arrival on American shores. First, let me frame the significance of Detective Conan, or Case Closed, as it is sometimes officially referred to outside its native Japan. While many popular manga and anime franchises come and go, Detective Conan has stood the test of time. Its manga, created by its gifted writer and artist Gosho Aoyama, first appeared in the year 1994, a period when readers in Japan were already witnessing a variety of fresh, inventive series battling for attention in weekly magazines. Yet, Aoyama's story about a 17-year-old prodigy detective, Shinichi Kudo, struck an immediate chord with fans. It had ingenious mysteries, comedic moments, and that special kind of tension that keeps you perched on the edge of your seat. In a market saturated with giant robots, fantasy battles, and romantic comedies, the detective genre of the mid-1990s needed a charismatic hero to break away from standard formulas. Enter Shinichi Kudo, whose Sherlock Holmes-level intellect seemed unstoppable until a lethal turn of events changed his life forever. But let us set the stage properly. Shinichi Kudo, a high school student on the cusp of adulthood, was investigating suspicious activities at an amusement park one fateful day. Something was off. He sensed it in the air. Then, out of nowhere, he was forcibly given a mysterious poison known as APTX 4869 by men dressed in black. This poison was no ordinary concoction. Instead of delivering a standard end, the toxin reversed Shinichi's physical age, transforming him into a small boy of around 7. The narrative took an astonishing twist. How could a child possibly navigate dangerous investigations when criminals would never suspect a youthful figure brandishing the powers of logic? But that is precisely one of the many brilliant hooks in the Detective Conan saga. In keeping his identity hidden, Shinichi adopts the alias Conan Edogawa. If you are wondering where that comes from, you are not alone. It is actually a nod to Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the famed author of the original Sherlock Holmes mysteries, and to the storied tradition of detective fiction that preceded Aoyama's creation. Conan moves in with his childhood friend Ron Mori and her somewhat hapless private detective father, Kogoro Mori. It is a comedic tour de force from the get-go. Everyone thinks Conan is a normal child, but in the background, the kid is effectively solving heinous crimes, using Kogoro's voice to deliver the solution in the old man's stead and letting Kogoro bask in the spotlight. Shinichi's moral imperative is to figure out exactly who gave him that fateful season, unmask the Mon in Black operating behind the scenes, and reclaim his 17-year-old form. Astonishingly, this premise is only the beginning. Case Closed has soared to unimaginable heights in popularity since its inception. By now, more than 270 million volumes of the manga are in circulation around the globe, a staggering number that certifies it as one of the top-selling manga series in history. In fact, it stands as the 4th highest-selling manga of all time. That statistic alone speaks volumes about the scale of the phenomenon. Whether you are in Tokyo, Los Angeles, or any major city across the planet, you are likely to find fans who can tell you what it was like to see Conan's improbable transformation for the very first time. Indeed, this unstoppable detective narrative has spanned more than 1,150 anime episodes and counting. That is right. Over 1,150 episodes of pure investigative brilliance, comedic interludes, and heart-stopping tension as Conan unravels new mysteries. But how does a series that has been running for nearly 30 years manage to keep its fanbase so utterly devoted? For one, Detective Conan weaves an intricate tapestry of subplots that revolve around the main storyline. Each step Conan takes to unmask the Black Organization, leads to darker secrets about who exactly might be behind these nefarious deals. Characters drift in and out of the narrative, some allies, some foes, and many whose allegiances are not entirely clear. New gadgets come into play, courtesy of quirky inventor Professor Hiroshi Agasa, who ensures Conan can find creative ways to reveal the criminal's hidden tracks. And let us not forget, the story is also peppered with comedic relief, mostly at Kogoro Mori's expense. He transforms from a bumbling detective to a sleeping detective under Conan's cunning skill. Fans relish each triumphant moment, whether Conan is saving a hostage, unveiling a corporate scandal, or simply trying to evade the prying eyes of suspicious individuals who sense that something about this child is not quite right. Nearly 3 decades into its run, one might question whether Detective Conan has any new tricks up its sleeve. The resounding answer is yes. And this is where the big news arrives. TMS Entertainment, the anime studio behind Detective Conan since the year 1996, has announced a special curated selection of episodes that have never been officially made available to fans in the United States. For ages, American viewers have scrabbled to piece together episodes, often resorting to partial online imports or incomplete dubs. The fragmented experience made it challenging to follow one of the longest-running stories in anime history. Now, fans can celebrate. The official TMS Entertainment site recently confirmed that, starting on July 3rd, 2025, certain episodes, films, and arcs of Detective Conan will at last make their debut on both Crunchyroll and Netflix for American audiences. Why is this such a triumphant moment? Think of all the aspiring detectives, big and small, who have waited years just to see certain key story arcs in a legal, high-quality format. Some classic episodes revolve around Conan's direct confrontations with the Men in Black, a shadowy syndicate that looms ominously in the background of nearly every major storyline. Others place Conan in comedic or romantic entanglements that give glimpses into Shinichi Kudo's lost teenage life. The curated sets aim to highlight monumental conflicts, fan-favorite confrontations, and arcs that deepen your understanding of the vast, interconnected narrative tapestry. For longtime fans, some of whom have spent literally decades collecting scattered volumes, this curated approach means that crucial building blocks of the grand story can now be seen in crisp detail. Now, you might be wondering, so which arcs are we going to get first? According to TMS Entertainment, the Conan vs. the Black Organization set of episodes is part of the initial wave slated to arrive on July 3rd, 2025. This is monumental news because the cat-and-mouse game between Conan and the Black Organization is a central spine of the series. Multiple recurring characters, some borderline anti-heroes, revolve around the group's machinations. Will Conan come face-to-face with the men who nearly ended his life, all while no one realizes a child is coordinating the entire operation? That is the source of the ongoing tension. This storyline is sure to thrill viewers who have never fully experienced the slower burn approach of Detective Conan, where each clue, each subtle hint, can lead to a revelation that changes Conan's actions for many episodes to come. Here is a fun fact that might genuinely catch you off guard. Detective Conan's popularity goes far beyond just the episodic mysteries. Over the years, it has racked up an astonishing 28 feature-length films, weaving even more high-stakes escapades into the detective's story. One of the latest is called Detective Conan, Black Iron Submarine, directed by the talented Yuzuru Tachikawa and released in Japan in April of the year 2023. The film soared at the box office, mesmerizing fans once again with brand new developments in that cat-and-mouse dance between Conan and his elusive foes. Now, in a move certain to excite North American aficionados, the film is getting its United States premiere at Anime Expo in California on July 5th. Attendees there can see the detectives shine on the big screen, with all the cinematic flair that these feature films are known for. That special event also includes a trivia quiz in the J.U. Diamond panel room, where you can win exclusive Conan goodies. Let us take a short detour into one of the reasons Detective Conan resonates so strongly: the universal appeal of clever problem-solving. Countless fans have grown passionate not just about the simmering overarching plot, but about each individual mystery that Conan tackles each episode. We, the viewers, get to see all the evidence, watch each subtle clue, and puzzle out who the culprit might be. That interactive dimension has been a big part of the show's staying power. Think of how deeply satisfying it is when you finally crack a puzzle that has been teased for multiple episodes. Detective Conan fosters that feeling on a grand scale, hooking audiences for hundreds upon hundreds of chapters. Even better, these intellectual challenges rarely feel repetitive. Aoyama's knack for creativity and TMS Entertainment's flair for suspenseful adaptation keep the momentum going. Now, imagine not being able to access key episodes or entire arcs legally, especially if you happen to be in the United States. Until now, Detective Conan was trickier to follow, with inconsistent availability, partial dubs, or episodes scattered in ways that did not always line up with the original storyline. Fans had to rely on bits and pieces, jumping from one platform to another, or waiting ages for new volumes to be imported. But that labyrinthine journey is finally coming to a close as Crunchyroll and Netflix open the doors to a curated selection. Moreover, as the anime journeys toward its 30th anniversary, the timing could not be more perfect, shining a celebratory light on the entire franchise and reacquainting the world with just how special this series truly is. By the way, if you are finding this backstory fascinating so far, now is an excellent time to lend your support. If you are feeling the excitement, take a moment to share this enthusiasm with a like. It might sound small, but those little boosts go a long way in helping more fans discover the intriguing tales behind legendary series like Detective Conan. Let us shift our focus to the upcoming trifecta of Detective Conan film releases on the official TMS Entertainment YouTube channel. Starting on July 12th, they will present Movie 20 titled Detective Conan: The Darkest Nightmare, followed by Movie 22, Detective Conan: Zero the Enforcer on July 19th, and then Movie 5 Detective Conan: Countdown to Heaven on July 26th. Although these films have had prior releases in the United States in some form, they remain some of the best and most acclaimed in the entire film franchise. Each one dives deeper into intricate conspiracies, forcing Conan to push his detective skills to new limits. The Darkest Nightmare, for instance, introduces a plot so entangled with espionage and memory loss that it keeps your heart pounding from start to finish. Zero the Enforcer thrusts Conan into an even more complex situation, involving security forces and major cataclysms. Meanwhile, Countdown to Heaven is widely remembered for its intense sequences that leave you questioning the true motives of key characters. So, how did this boyish detective manage to captivate entire generations? Part of the charm lies in that delicate balance between seriousness and levity. Yes, it is a crime drama at heart, complete with murders, conspiracies, and shadowy organizations. Yet you also get classic comedic bits, Conan fumbling with everyday kid tasks, the adults around him misreading his presence, or the running gag of Kogoro rousing from his detective trances clueless about how the case was solved. For fans, this interplay of tension and humor is as delightful as the dance between truth and deception. Some watchers come for the puzzling mysteries, while others stay for the comedic interludes, but nearly everyone is enthralled by the slow-burn revelations about the poison that set Conan's strange predicament in motion. Another reason that Detective Conan continues to enthrall is because it never shies away from exploring the emotional stakes. Shinichi Kudo originally had a clear path in life. He was a star detective who often assisted the police with complex cases, not to mention a young man with romantic feelings for his childhood friend, Ran. Suddenly, the destruction of his physical form means the near destruction of his old identity. He cannot simply tell Ran about his predicament, not without risking her safety and jeopardizing his chances of regaining his original body. Imagine having all your teenage aspirations ripped away, forced to keep your deepest secrets even from the people you most care about. The sense of longing, the heartbreak of seeing Ran worry about Shinichi's disappearance. These emotional layers add intensity far beyond simple puzzle solving. This emotional tapestry resonates with viewers who want more than just a clever whodunit. Now, all this talk about heartbreak and conspiracies might lead you to wonder, does it get repetitive after so many episodes and so many chapters? In a typical show, it might. But Detective Conan thrives on variety. One episode could revolve around a high-profile burglary, while the next explores haunted lodges in the countryside. Then, just when you think you can predict the formula, a layered multi-episode arc introduces new players who might be part of the Black Organization, or perhaps aligned with Conan in secret. Even secondary characters like Ai Haibara, who also has a mysterious connection to the poison, deepen the overarching mythology, lending new perspectives on the same unstoppable crime syndicate. And let us not forget about occasional cameo crossovers with other series or references to real-life events in Japan, keeping things perpetually fresh. To celebrate the forthcoming arrival of Detective Conan's curated episodes and films, TMS Entertainment also teased that more announcements are on the horizon. Could we see even more selections, or perhaps brand new special episodes crafted for international audiences? The truth is, the team behind Detective Conan has a history of making big reveals when fans least expect it. Nothing is set in stone, but speculation is already running wild online. Some longtime viewers are hoping for newly restored versions of older arcs or fresh comedic spin-offs that revolve around side characters. Detective Conan has spawned a galaxy of spin-offs already, from comedic educational pieces to heart-tugging glimpses of daily life in that trademark detective universe. So, if you think this July 3rd release is the end of the good news, you should prepare yourself for more. Now, let us address the longtime fans who might already know most of these details, but who still have reason to be excited. The chance to watch Detective Conan on major streaming platforms in the United States, with likely improved translations and potentially new dubbing, is a dream scenario. For years, fans had to import DVDs or rely on unofficial streams that did not always do justice to the show's meticulous writing. The official recognition from TMS Entertainment and streaming giants means broader discussions, new communities, and fresh waves of fandom. Sure, you might have read hundreds of chapters or rewatched specific arcs, but now you can savor them in a renewed presentation, maybe discover fresh nuances in the dialogue or re-experience the tension of that first big reveal, when Conan corners a suspect with logic so airtight that even we as viewers are left breathless. Speaking of breathless, if you are as excited as I am about the boy detective's official stateside arrival, this is a perfect moment to stay connected. Go ahead and subscribe if you want more deep dives into mysteries, behind-the-scenes peeks, and heartfelt explorations of iconic anime. So much more is coming, and you definitely do not want to miss it. One might ask, how will the release on July 3rd, 2025 year, shape the future of anime in North America? In truth, it might open the floodgates for older, longer-bodied series to receive a second chance at life in the West. Detective Conan is an undisputed classic, but many fans had resigned themselves to incomplete coverage or confusion over episode order. This official rollout can become a precedent for other beloved series that never quite had the opportunity to shine beyond Japan. Perhaps we will see more carefully curated arcs from other classic detective or crime anime, or from neglected spin-offs within the Detective Conan universe. Meanwhile, you can almost feel the excitement brimming in the lead-up to Anime Expo, which regularly draws tens of thousands of passionate fans each summer. This year is going to be extra electrifying, especially with the screening of Detective Conan, Black Iron Submarine. Expect hushed gasps, thunderous applause, and spirited debates as fans compare the events of the movie to the main storyline. Some might argue it reveals new hints about the organization behind Conan's predicament. Others may focus on the sophisticated technology or the directorial style that Tachikawa brings to the film. Regardless, we can expect a wave of fresh perspectives that will further elevate the conversation when these curated episodes finally hit Netflix and Crunchyroll. Now, do not assume it is all just about big conspiracies and pulse-pounding action. Detective Conan also taps into sweet everyday moments that remind us these characters are not just puzzle-solving machines, but living, breathing people with relationships, insecurities, and shared memories. Ron's unwavering belief in Shinichi, even as he appears to vanish from her life, is one of the dramatic heartstrings that tugs the audience through each unfolding mystery. Then you have Haibara, who undergoes her own introspective battles, wrestling with guilt over her past. The beauty of Detective Conan is that it seamlessly blends these personal struggles into the broader detective narrative. At times, you might forget to focus on the case of the week, because you are too invested in whether Conan can muster the courage to leave a small hint of his true identity to Ran. Let us step back and gaze at the bigger picture. The year 1994 might feel like ancient history to new fans, but for those who embarked on this detective journey from the start, the arrival of Detective Conan on Netflix and Crunchyroll after so many years is a monumental victory. It demonstrates that a strong community can breathe new life into older or ongoing series, encouraging distributors to invest in bringing them to global audiences. Whether it is the cunning strategies Conan uses to manipulate crime scenes, the comedic confusion whenever Kogoro solves a case he knows nothing about, or the jaw-dropping reveals about the Black organization's real power, fans can finally rest assured that a more complete, official experience is within reach. From an industry perspective, Detective Conan's longevity also underscores a rare phenomenon, a single creative vision spanning decades, maintained by the consistent involvement of the original manga creator, Gosho Aoyama, and the dedicated TMS Entertainment team. That continuity fosters an unbroken sense of authenticity, no abrupt reboots or drastically altered art styles that alienate longtime viewers. Over the years, fans could see the natural evolution in Aoyama's artwork and story complexity. Magnify that by thousands of pages and hundreds of anime episodes, and you begin to sense the staggering scope of the Detective Conan universe. Now, do not fret if this all sounds overwhelming. The curated selection is designed precisely to give newcomers a digestible gateway, ensuring you will not be lost in a maze of hundreds of arcs. Instead, it will handpick the most essential or thrilling moments, setting you on the right path if you later decide to explore the full series. The possibility of bridging older fans with brand new ones is part of what makes this upcoming release so exhilarating. We might soon see spirited online discussions as novices ask about certain mysteries, while veterans share their insights, forging new fandom connections in the process. If you have a detective's heart and relish a tale that entwines cunning riddles with endearing characters, now is your chance to see what the buzz has been about for the better part of 3 decades. Considering all these factors, it is safe to say that Detective Conan is more than just a long-running anime. It is a piece of pop culture history that encapsulates the spirit of Japanese detective fiction, the unstoppable creativity of manga artistry, and the shared enthusiasm of fans who kept asking for proper availability in their region. Whether you are in it for the cunning reveals, the comedic stumbles, or the heartfelt drama, one thing remains certain. This unstoppable detective's journey has never been more accessible, and the best is yet to come. So, get ready to dive into a world where brilliance and bravery swirl together in a puzzle so vast that even 3 decades have not dampened its spark. Yes, Detective Conan, or Case Closed, is still going strong, living proof that a well-crafted detective story can enthrall readers and viewers for many years. And now that TMS Entertainment has opened the floodgates with Netflix and Crunchyroll, what once was a quest for scouring corners of the internet to find episodes might finally evolve into a straightforward, continuous binge that illuminates every critical turn in the saga. For all of us who ever fantasized about solving the perfect mystery, Conan's example reminds us that intellect and perseverance can triumph against all odds, even if your nearest and dearest think you are just an innocent little kid. The curtain does not fall here, though. The future teems with even more possibilities, more announcements, and perhaps even more expansions to the curated set in the coming months or years. So, keep your wits about you, watch out for suspicious individuals in black, and remember, sometimes the greatest secrets hide in plain sight. Detective Conan's 30th anniversary, the new curated arcs, the upcoming movie events, this is the kind of synergy that seldom happens. A perfect storm of celebration that older fans have prayed for, and new fans will appreciate as they dive headfirst into the deep end of detective drama. If you have never given Detective Conan a chance, there has never been a better time to join the phenomenon that threatens to overshadow many other staples of anime. The unstoppable detective is here, and trust me, you do not want to miss out.